All right, I'm here with Josh Apple, and you've spent a lot of time with a receiver, Camari Murray, breaking all kinds of records this year. Who is Camari Murray?
He's a guy that transferred into the McNamara program as a sophomore, immediately developed a great relationship with his quarterback, Ramar Williams, and together the two of them have put on just a clinic in terms of stats in their time together at McNamara. And here you see in his highlights, he's a guy that has some great speed, shiftiness, hard guy to bring down. But what's most impressive is, like you said, he's breaking some records. He's the WCAC all-time leader in both receptions and in receiving yards. He broke both those marks on senior day, which is really neat for him. That was in a game against St. Mary's Riken on October 24th. He had 11 catches for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game to put his total now at 148 receptions and almost 2,500 yards for his career. So pretty big-time numbers there.
In terms of recruiting, what kind of recruiting interest is he getting from schools right now?
He's a bit of an undersized receiver. He's only 5'9", 150 pounds, 155 pounds. So not necessarily what colleges are looking for, but he does have some interest so far. He has one offer from Seton Hill. That's a Division II program in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. That's the only offer. He also has interest from Morgan State in Baltimore and from Rhode Island. Admittedly, he says he's an underrated receiver, despite the stats and some of the numbers you see here. And as an underrated receiver, he says that inspires him to work harder, become better, and that's actually made him a better receiver in his time.
So I assume then, by you saying that, he's a guy that's pretty motivated. He's a guy that sort of sees this as not like an obstacle, but just something to get him, hey, it gets me fired up, and I have more to prove still as a player.
Absolutely. I'm sure he'd prefer to have some big-time offers.
Sure, yeah, that's they all, right? Yeah.
But that being said, he's a really hard worker. He describes his strengths as being a hard worker and his football IQ, and having spoke with him, he seems like a really intelligent guy, like he has a good head on his shoulders. So I know that once he does land on a college roster, some team will be very happy to have him.
I mean, every team loves speed. I mean, obviously guys that can break records. So you see that on paper and you say, all right, this guy's breaking records, so he can play. He can produce numbers. Is it his size that's probably the biggest obstacle for him right now?
I would say so, yes. Just at 155 pounds, he admittedly needs to get stronger in the weight room to be able to break tackles, to develop more of an all-around game. I mean, in high school, if you have a lot of speed, it's easy to get around guys, but at the college level, everyone probably has speed, so he does need to get stronger. But I know that he will do that because he's a hard worker, and also having a quarterback like Ramar Williams that he's been such a great bond with in high school, that really boosts his stats a little bit. Going into a new program, obviously he wouldn't have that, but I'm sure he'll be fine wherever he goes.
Cool. All right, thanks, Josh.